All right, for card A, it says that we are doing x to the fourth plus 16x to the third plus 52x squared minus 50x minus 14. And that is all being divided by x plus 6. So the first question that you ask yourself when you're doing a polynomial long division problem is you say, how many times does x go into x to the fourth? So x goes into, or you could say what does x need to multiply by to get to be x to the fourth? And then whatever that is, that goes up here. So that would be x to the third. Once you're done with that step, you take the top and you multiply it by each of these pieces and you write them underneath. So x to the third multiplied by x is x to the fourth. X to the third multiplied by 6 is 6x to the third. All right. Next, I draw a line underneath these, and the purpose of doing that is because I'm about to subtract these. So I'm going to write that I'm subtracting, and I'm going to write that I'm subtracting. X to the fourth minus x to the fourth is 0. And you know that you've gotten this part right if it equals 0, because they should always cancel out exactly. 16x to the third minus 6x to the third is 10x to the third. All right, and then I'll go ahead and drop down the next term here. And then we repeat the process. So I say, what does x need to multiply by to become 10x to the third? So whatever that is, go ahead and write it on the top. What does x have to multiply by to become 10x to the third? So you should have written that it would be 10x squared. So 10x squared multiplied by x is what would give us this. And the next step in our process is we have to take this number on the top and we have to distribute it to these two things and write them underneath here. So go ahead and take a moment to do that. We're taking 10x squared and we're multiplying it by these two things, and we're putting it underneath right here. So 10x squared times x is 10x to the third. 10x squared times 6 is 60x squared. And then I draw my line underneath. And I'm doing that because I'm subtracting these things, so I'll write my subtraction signs in there. And this is 0 like it should always be. 52 minus 60 is negative 8. You want to be careful with your signs always, because this seems to be where students make mistakes. And if you make a mistake in the middle of the problem, it will ruin the entire thing. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down my next term. The next question I'm asking myself, I'm repeating the process again, so I'm saying x multiplied by what is negative 8x squared? So x multiplied by what is negative 8x squared? And that you're going to put at the top right here. So you should have said that it would be negative 8x. And then the next step is we take this at the top and we multiply it by these two and we write it underneath here. So negative 8x times x is negative 8x squared. Negative 8x times positive 6 is negative 48x. And our next step, hopefully you did it, is we're drawing the line so that we can subtract. Now when you minus a negative, that makes it positive. When you minus a negative, that makes it positive. So negative 8x squared and positive 8x squared is 0, like it should be. Negative 50x and positive 48x gives you negative 2x. So we're going to repeat the process again. We're going to say x multiplied by what gives you negative 2x. And we're going to put that right up here. So x multiplied by what gives you negative 2x. And you should have said negative 2. And then see if you can remember what the next step is. Go ahead and try it. So the next step is to take negative 2 and multiply it by these two terms and write it underneath here. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. And then our next step is to draw the line. And we are subtracting a negative 2x, and minus minus makes a plus. And we are subtracting a negative 12. Again, minus minus makes a plus. So these two subtract to be 0 like they should. And then negative 14 and positive 12 makes negative 2. And once you get to the end, you know what your remainder is. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say minus because my remainder is negative. And then I write the remainder as a fraction. I have a remainder of 2, and that 2 still needs to be divided by x plus 6. And so this right here is my final answer.